15th Annual CEO Summit here in New Orleans. Our team has been looking forward to this for several months, and it's great to see everyone here. We're excited and proud about the program, and I think over the next day and a half we'll all have a chance to talk about a lot of stuff and hopefully learn. I know everyone's seen your program guide, but I think some of the topics that we have over the next day and a half are really relevant. So we have talks on repositioning your business in the face of change. We have topics that include examining sales compensation trends, strategies to maximize the value of your business, collaborating with your channel partners to deliver solutions that include but are not limited to print, getting the most out of your employees in today's market. These are critical topics for most businesses today, but I think they're particularly relevant to the group of folks we have assembled here and to the companies that we have in our association. An event like this is truly a team effort, and I wanted to acknowledge some of the work that went into this event before we get started here. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge our 6 sponsors. They are CE Printed Products, Foley & Fisher, The Flesh Company, Foster Printing Service, Glatfelter, and Graphic Dimensions. I'd like everyone to give a hand for these 6 sponsors. Having these sponsors in place helped us get our marketing of this event off to a great start, and it helped send a message to our members that the CEO Summit was a great place to be, and I think it helped our attendance and the development of our program to have that support. So thank you to everyone. I also wanted to acknowledge and introduce, for those of you that don't know them, 4 of my colleagues that are here from the PSDA staff team in Chicago and Washington, D.C. First, and in front of me is Dave Murley. Dave, can you raise your hand? Dave has been with PSDA for 17 years. I'd also like to introduce Barbara O'Connor, if she's around.
She's coming in. She's at the red.
Barbara will step in just a minute. She runs our operations team out of Chicago, and I think most of you, or many of you, have had a chance to meet Barbara, and if not, I encourage you to this week. I'd also like to introduce John Delavan, who leads our print solutions team. Is John here yet? Okay. John Delavan, who was in our cocktail party last night, runs our print solutions team, and there's a breakfast tomorrow morning, and here's a plug for John. 7:30 or maybe a little bit earlier, he's going to be here talking about the magazine and ways that we can get involved in it as an association. So I encourage you to spend some time with John. And we also have Murphy Goodworth here, who's in green in the back. Murphy's the representative for our events team that's here on site today. I'd also like to make one other acknowledgement. The work of our education team, which is led by Julie Ferry in Chicago, as well as our education committee and the PSDA board, all of whom had a lot to do with the program that you see in front of you. So I don't think we need to clap, but I want to say there are a lot of people that went into this. And I'll tell one quick story, and then we'll get on with the program. Several months ago, after the PSDA Technology Conference in San Francisco, I had occasion to sit and talk with a couple of members after the event, and out in the Bay Area. One of these members was George Smith of Thule Weir, and I found myself standing in George's front yard late in the evening before catching a flight back to Chicago, and I was thanking George for his for a home-cooked meal and for his time. And he said to me, "Matt, do you want a little feedback?" And for those of you that know George, that was a rhetorical question. And George said to me 2 words. He said, "Smile more." And so I took it to heart. The first thing I said to George was, and if you remember, I was 6 weeks into this, what I'd call indoctrination to this association, to this organization. I said to George, without missing a beat, "Well, George, why don't you give me something to smile about?" And before it was out of my mouth, he said, "You don't need a reason to smile." So it's something that stayed with me. And what I wanted to say as we start here is, when we think about all the challenges that we have in our business, certainly when we think about the challenges that we have as an association in this marketplace that's changing every day, when you think about it, most of us are here today because we're doing something that we love to do. At the very least, we're doing something that affords us the ability to come down here to invest in ourselves and in our companies. And many of us in this room have the occasion and have the privilege to be able to work with their brothers, their sisters, sons, daughters, friends, parents. It's a tight community, and it's something that I've become aware of as I've met more and more members over the past 5 or 6 months. So everyone is here to learn and grow. We're hoping to pick up an idea that we might be able to do something with in our businesses. That's why we're down here. And I guess that's the beauty from where I sit of the association, or an association, that we're collectively stronger than any one of us is together. That the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. And of course, it's what everyone is trying to do in their business. And if you think about it, it's what the distributor channel is all about, that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. So for the next day or two, I urge you to push yourself, to push each other, to challenge one another, and to engage in thinking and discussion that will lead to growth. But I also urge you to take some time to reflect and to smile, because remember, you don't need a reason. And with that, I'd like to introduce our first speaker. Bob Lieber is CEO of Original Thought, which is a strategy, consulting, and marketing services firm focused on helping companies innovate at times and moments of transformational change. Bob is very much an innovator who understands well the graphic arts as well as integrated marketing. He's been described to me as a visionary, though through following his blogs and his interviews and on what they think, and in talking to him back in December as well as last night briefly, I can say his style is also very pragmatic, which I think is an interesting and valuable combination. Bob's presentation today is entitled Repositioning and Rethinking Your Business, and our team thinks this topic will hit home for everyone in this room. So please join me in welcoming Bob Lieber.